One of the things about this team is that they're awful at tackling. A couple of years ago, they had the number one defense in the league. They were the best tackling team in the league. There was nothing schematically advanced about what the Niners were doing in 2022 under N'Biko Ryans. They were known as the team that would get all 11 players in the frame for the tackle every time. They played the hardest, and teams that played the Niners didn't win the next week. That identity is gone. They might be the worst tackling team in the league. PFF has them graded 31st out of 32 teams in tackling.
Yeah. Well,
why?
And if you've noticed the last, let's say, 4 or 5 games, there's almost always a defensive back who's leading them in tackling and not a linebacker. And that just tells you that their teams are completing way too many balls. Guys are getting to the second and third level. They're running right by Campbell and Warner. Warner won't admit it, but he's gassed. Campbell has lost all lateral agility. D. Winters actually can run and has lateral agility, but he hasn't earned the respect of Sorensen enough to get on the field. So you have Winters as the highest graded PFF guy a week ago, only to barely play in this last game. So they used to have Greenlaw and Aziz and Warner, and now it's Warner and just dudes. And you're not going to be as good, and they're not as good.
I'm looking up missed tackle leaders for the 49ers. Devondre Campbell has 12. Deommodore Lenoir has 11. These are missed tackles.
Yeah, which means you got to get there, and that's not what Devondre's best at. He's probably missed more than that. I mean, there was a play in the flat, Grant, in the Green Bay game. This was the most ridiculous play of the game. They had a back who was blocking in the backfield who leaked out into the flat, and they flipped it to him. Devondre Campbell was 18 yards down the field, and he clearly had the flat. And he didn't even encounter the guy until the guy had already run for like 12 yards. So, I mean, Campbell's lack of speed on the second level is just absolutely crushing this team.
Agree. I still feel that this is a new development. Like PFF had him as the fifth best tackling team last year. Losing Greenlaw hurts. But I think this is a direct reflection on Nick Sorensen and Brandon Staley. I don't know if it's related, but Brandon Staley's Chargers defenses were bad at tackling. And it seems like you get what you emphasize. And it's not like this Niners defense is particularly advanced in terms of pressures or disguised coverages. So it doesn't really do anything particularly well. It doesn't get the most out of their talent. I hate to blame the coaches like the players did, but I don't see where the Brandon Staley impact is helping. It's not here.
Well, their issues on D are more about players than coaches, in my opinion. But I think it's worth noting that the Chargers got rid of Brandon Staley. They gave when Brandon Staley was there, they gave up 60 plus points in a game to the Raiders. And now with Jesse Minter, who had never coached a minute in the NFL as a coordinator before, came from Michigan with Harbaugh. Now suddenly the Chargers are giving up like 13 or 14 points a game, and they got one of the best defenses in the league. So I don't know what to say about Brandon Staley other than the team that he went to hasn't been appreciably improved, and the team that he left is dramatically improved. I'm not sure what that says about him.